deaths, and of thousands of others arising from the conflict, one must understand this revolutionary organization. Aspects of IRA history from earlier generations have been studied in admirably rigorous fashion, and the pre-provisional IRA has been impressively contextualized in wide-angled thematic surveys of Irish history. But the provisionals themselves, easily the most sustained and arguably now the definitive exemplars of the IRA tradition, have been treated much less carefully, and have received much less in the way of serious analysis. Despite the existence of numerous, often fascinating books on the subject, much writing about the provisionals has lacked rigor. It has sometimes relied on patchy research and a shaky grasp of Irish history, and much of it has been marred either by a hazily romantic approach or an unhelpfully condemnatory spirit. Indeed, there remains no full study of the provisional IRA, no genuinely authoritative, accessible book which, through exhaustive, original research, systematically addresses the questions: what has the IRA done? Why? And with what consequences? Armed Struggle is intended to fill that gap. The aim has been to produce a rigorously argued book, based on thorough, innovative research, and one that avoids both romantic indulgence and casual, simplistic condemnation in analyzing the true nature of the provisional IRA. The book is based on the widest range of sources ever used to study the provisionals: interviews, correspondence, archives, including those only recently released, memoirs, newspapers, tracts, parliamentary records, organizational papers, films, novels, as well as a mass of books and articles relating to the subject. All testify to the wealth of material available, ironically, for an examination of this secret army. Much of the material has not previously been examined or published, but while the book is thus based on comprehensive scholarly work, it is intended also to be accessible. The notes and references and the bibliography are there for those who want to pursue details, but those who find such things distracting can approach the book purely as a dramatic narrative. In structure, it is precisely that, a chronological story, albeit one layered with argument and analysis. Part 1, History, 1916 to 1963, builds historical foundations on which to base an understanding of the modern-day provisionals. The pre-20th century Irish physical force tradition, with its rebellions and its secrecy, the dramatic events of the 1916 Easter Rising, and of the 1919 to 1921 guerrilla war, the partitioning of Ireland in the early 1920s, and the Irish Civil War of 1922 to 1923. All will be considered, since all provide important points of reference for provisional thought and action. So, too, the IRA campaigns in Northern Ireland and Britain during the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s and 1960s provide an important line of descent for modern provisional republicanism. Part 2, Protest and Rebellion, 1963 to 1976, examines the birth of the provisionals out of the turbulence generated by the 1960s civil rights movement, and it does so with unprecedented detail and precision. It looks at the loyalist reaction to civil rights agitation, the escalating violence of the late 1960s, the introduction of British troops to the streets of Northern Ireland, the split in the IRA, which produced the provisionals, the introduction of internment in 1971, the tragedy of Bloody Sunday in 1972, the appallingly high levels of killing in the early 1970s, and the battle within the Northern Catholic community between the provisionals and rival political forces. Bombings in Britain and bloody conflict in the north of Ireland figure prominently in these years. Part 3, Prisons and Politics, 1976 to 1988, looks at the dramatic prison war over political status, which culminated in the 1980 to 1981 IRA hunger strikes. It builds on much new archival and interview material.